Greater Manchester is called the Clean Air Zone.
Right.
There's one in Birmingham, Bath, Sheffield, Newcastle. There's several across the country. And the one in Manchester, the government said to Greater Manchester, there's certain points in Greater Manchester, you need to clean your air up. It's dirty, it's going against EU directives. We've even left the EU now, so who cares? But Greater Manchester said, right, we need to do something about that. So instead of looking at the points, which are basically trunk roads going into the city centre, Andy Burnham said, we're going to cover the whole of Greater Manchester, the biggest clean air zone in the UK.
Wow.
Part of that's countryside with sheep and cows and fields.
Yeah, where Pete's from.
Yeah, exactly.
Pete's from the posh bit of Wigan. What they've got is both tarmac and cobble.
Football team, though. Football team.
Hang on. There's a lot of pollution coming from cows and sheep and other...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. The clean air zone does go right up to where my parents are. And, like, I tell you now, you walk around Wigan, nobody considers themselves from Greater Manchester at all.
But I mean, a lot of our viewers are from Northern England. Places like Orrell, and where I'm from is near Haydock Racecourse.
Orrell.
I mean, that is...
It's the village I'm from.
It's Orrell. It's got an E in it, not an A.
Okay, just asking for the viewers.
Yeah.
Just trust you to behave badly.
I'm going to say that end of the sofa.
But you go to these places and they are not city centre. They don't even feel like a city, to be absolutely honest.
It's all collapsed now in Greater Manchester. So after he announced what he was doing and the signs went up saying clean air zones coming, you've got to pay to drive on the roads. For commercial, he started off with commercial vehicles. So the signs went up, people went crazy. And within 2 months, he suspended the scheme before it started, lost his bottle. It's been suspended now for like 18 months. And a couple of days ago, he was on TV saying, I don't want to implement a clean air zone. It's like, what have you been doing for 2 years? I don't think he's frightened of me at the moment because I'm still an outsider, but he's frightened of the people because once he announced the charge in the clean air zone, a Facebook group started called Rethink the Clean Air Zone. Within a week, it got 60,000. There's also 80, 90,000 now. It's that Facebook group that scared him, that changed his mind.
Wow.
People power. Sometimes we forget, we think, no point voting, no point complaining, it's all set up, the WEF are control. No. If you get enough people angry, politicians will do as they're told. It's called being age appropriate, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't let 4-year-olds watch an 18-rated film. And that's what a drag show is. It's an 18-rated performance, which if people like it, go see it. Absolutely not got a problem. The average age of a boy now accessing hardcore porn is 11 years old.
Oh.
If you're looking at that thinking that's normal and you're 13, that's not creating the men of the future.
Can't do this, can't do that, ban this, find that. I just find it very frustrating.
It's okay for a government to give advice because sometimes they know more than most people because of...
I mean, that's rare.
Well, sometimes do. So here's some advice off the government. I agree with that. But once they've given you advice, as a free people in a free country, the rest should be up to you.
I just wonder whether we're going to be able to improve the quality of politicians now. And because you're running for office, I just want your take on that.
It's true, and we can improve it. It's going to take time. It's going to take at least a decade. We need the old politicians to move out, who are not really politicians. They're basically middle managers, taking their instructions from the EU, not nefariously, because that was their job to implement EU laws and directives. So we didn't need politicians, we didn't need leaders, we needed managers. I mean, half my family work in the NHS.
Right.
The NHS, I think, is the second biggest employer in the world.
Yeah, after the Chinese Red Army.
Yeah, exactly. It's after it was created, 50, 60, 70 years ago, within 10 years, there was people were talking 10 years after its creation, it's not fit for purpose. Because the way it was set up and the expansion of what the problem is what we expect the NHS to do. We expect it to do everything. It's not possible. And there's no politician around ever to have that serious discussion.
Well, the big problem, Nick, is this. When Bevan created the NHS, what he thought would happen was, as public health became universal, the level of illness would decline and the need for the NHS would go down. Well, of course, what's actually happened is technology's increased the cost. So it's gone up and up and up.